Hi guys, and welcome to another week. But this isn't an ordinary week. This is one of my favourite weeks in the whole year. No, it's not the week leading up to Christmas, we know that. It's not the week my birthday is in, but it's the week leading up to Easter, which I think is probably the most important time of the year. Now, I know at Easter a lot of us get Easter eggs and Easter bunnies, and they're great and they're fun and chocolate is really nice. But this week I want us to think about what is Easter really all about. And to help us do that, I actually have some Easter eggs. And these Easter eggs aren't filled with chocolate. Probably not a good idea to eat these eggs. But these Easter eggs are going to help us remember the real story of Easter. Why we celebrate Easter and why I think it is one of the best times of the whole year. So over the next 4 days, I'm going to go through 12 Easter eggs with you. And we're going to see the story of Easter unfold. And hopefully you'll think Easter is just as good as I do. So how about you come and join me on this journey? Rightio, today we're going to start looking at our Easter eggs. Now the first Easter egg I have is over here. Get this nice blue Easter egg over here. Now inside this Easter egg is something that's going to help us understand the real story of Easter. I'm just going to crack it open here. And no, it's not chocolate. I'm just going to put that there. I don't know if you can see that right there. But that, my friends, that is a donkey. But why would there be a donkey in the story of Easter? Well, Easter actually comes from something that happened in the life of Jesus. And the Bible tells us a week before the very first Easter, Jesus rode into Jerusalem, that was the capital city of where he lived, on a donkey. And as Jesus did that, the people started to cheer because they knew that Jesus was God's special one. And they thought, here's the one that's going to save us and bring us a new kingdom, which is true. But Jesus didn't come in on a big, mighty warrior horse. He came in on a lowly, humble donkey. So that's why we have our donkey. I was putting here, our donkey, for our first thing in our Easter eggs. Now let's have a look at our second Easter egg. I wonder what's inside of this one. I open it up. Ooh, something shiny. I don't even see that. That is 3 silver coins. Why would there be 3 silver coins? Well, as much as people celebrate Jesus coming in on a donkey because he was going to be the king, God's special one, Easter is kind of also a sad story. You see, some of the leaders at that time didn't like Jesus and they wanted him dead. And then one of Jesus' 12 friends, one of his really special friends, said, if you give me 30 pieces of silver, I'll help you arrest Jesus so you can get rid of him. And so our second Easter egg has 3 silver coins because it reminds us that one of Jesus' special friends, Judas, asked for 30 pieces of silver to get rid of Jesus. Let's move on to our third Easter egg. And inside this one, put it here for you. I don't know if you can see it. Now that's a special cup. You see, Jesus knew that his friend was going to betray him for 30 pieces of silver. And Jesus knew what was going to happen to him. So on the Thursday night, before Jesus was arrested and he ended up dying, Jesus had his special friends together. And he knew what was going to happen, but he knew it was part of God's big plan. So Jesus gave them some instructions to remember what he was about to do. Sometimes today people call it the Lord's Supper or communion. And I'm going to read from the Bible the words Jesus said about this. And this is what Jesus says. It comes from Matthew chapter 26. Jesus said, the Bible says, while they were eating, Jesus took some bread. He thanked God for it and broke it. Then he gave it to his followers and said, take this bread and eat it. This bread is my body. Then Jesus took a cup. He thanked God for it and gave it to the followers. He said, every one of you drink this. This is my blood, which begins the new agreement that God makes with his people. This blood is poured out for many for the forgiveness of their sins. I tell you this, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine again until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. Then they sang a hymn, then they went to the Mount of Olives. What Jesus was saying is he knew he was going to die. But Jesus' death was really important. It's so that we could be friends with God. So he gave his friends and all those who followed him since then a way to remember what was about to happen to him. And that's why we have the cup. And our last egg for today, this one's a bit harder to see. This one here, we have 2 hands praying. After Jesus and his friends had that meal and he gave them the cup and said, remember this because I'm going to die for the forgiveness of sins. They went up to a garden and while they were up there, Jesus prayed. And Jesus asked God to help him. Jesus knew that some really bad things were going to happen to him, but he knew that God was still with him. And he asked God to give him the strength and to help him through this time. So they're the first 4 of our Easter eggs as we explore the true story of Easter. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it made you think about what Easter is really about, and I hope to see you tomorrow as we go through our next bits. I'll catch you around.